Hey everybody, it's Jim here. I've had this Suhr Alt T for 3 months now, and I wanted to wait to make a review about it until I got out of the honeymoon period, because you know how it is when you get a brand new guitar. At first you may love every single thing about it, but as time goes on, you might find yourself listening to a thing on reverb and trying to find the next best thing. And luckily for me, as you can see, I did not make such an error because I chose well. Today I'm going to be going over the guitar, what I love about it. Obviously, we're going to be hearing the thing in action, and also why I wanted to buy a guitar from Suhr themselves, the actual brand, because it actually does mean a lot to me. One of the main reasons I finally ended up with one of these guitars after years of wanting one was because recently Sweetwater started carrying them. And if I'm buying a new guitar, that's the place I go, because if I have any problems with it, I can always get the thing back to them, and it is absolutely no hassles, no restocking fees or any sorts of nonsense. They're really good people to deal with in that sense. If you want to check out what they have in stock right now, it goes fast. That's the one thing that I've noticed. There is a link in the description, but I'm going to format today's video a little bit different. We're not going to put this guitar on the bench. I'm going to give you a brief overview of it. We'll play it, and then I'll give you my thoughts and little things I noticed afterwards. It's fairly obvious where Suhr got the idea for this guitar from, but honestly, if you're somebody who's used to that other brand, the originator of the design, you will feel right at home on one of these things, and you'll also start to appreciate some of the modern upgrades that are on this guitar, as well as other Suhr models. Starting out is the neck and the neck profile. This has a mid-60s C, 0.84 at the first fret, 0.96 at the 12th fret. This feels just right. I absolutely love this. It's got this beautiful satin finish on the back of it with rolled fretboard edges. It is an absolute joy to play. It's got a compound radius 9 to 12, but I don't really notice it. It doesn't feel too extreme. It feels really natural no matter where I am on the neck. You have an alder semi-hollow body, which really helps to reduce the weight. This guitar is 6 pounds 13 ounces. It's an absolute feather to play. You do have your classic shorty bridge here with 3 brass saddles. My favorite. I'm not a big fan of the individuals on tellies. And then you have 2 humbucking pickups. And here's where things start to get really interesting too. Unlike a lot of brands that when you have humbucking pickups, you have push-pulls or push-push knobs that'll put each one individually into split modes, this one, you don't have that. You just have your one master volume, your one master tone. You have a 5-way blade here. When it's up all the way, it's the neck humbucker full on. The 4th position here is the neck humbucker by itself split. The middle position is both pickups together in full humbucking mode. Then you have the 2 humbuckers split in position 2. Finally, just all-out rock and roll on the bridge pickup. Now that you have a decent idea of what this thing's all about, we got to hear it. I filmed this one a little bit different today. I did mic up the Z Plus with the SM57 and only used the Brown Amplification Pro Team for drive. I used reverb straight from the amplifier itself, but I had a signal split sent out to the quad cortex, so I'm guessing the majority of what you're going to be hearing is just the amp mic'd up by the 57, but maybe I'll blend a little bit of both. First things first, since I have had this thing for 3 months, I never shared with you my initial reactions when I first got this guitar, and I feel they're extremely important. I've had Fender custom shops. I've had PRS cores. I've had Gibson custom shops. I've had handmade one-of-one Japanese guitars. All the way down the line, they've all been fantastic guitars, but this is the first one that I've ever had where I've had this happen. Once I took the strings off, I like to polish the frets myself to really get this thing up and running as well as I possibly can. When I was using the Gorgamite, it's a little cleaning cloth that takes all the shine and makes it all lovely. Normally dirt will cake, and it doesn't matter again what the brand was or what the level it was, and show up in black. On the frets on this guitar, there was nothing. The polish that was done at the factory was by far the best I have ever seen in my entire life, and that is saying something because I've played some exceptionally good guitars. Am I saying this is the best guitar of all time? No, but that really did tell me everything I needed to know about how much these people give a damn about their customers and making sure they're getting a really great product right out of the box. The frets on the guitar were also perfectly level, which at that point wasn't a surprise at all, and the fret edges were super smooth. Before I put on a new set of strings, I did change the pick guard. I got rid of the tortoise one, and in my opinion, made the only upgrade that I think is worthwhile on one of these, especially if you have a rosewood fingerboard, and that's go with the mint green. Let me know what you think down below, but to me, no contest. This is much nicer looking. Once I plugged the thing in though, adjusted the truss rod a little bit, and I was off to the races. These pickups. During the sound demonstrations, you may have seen some text applied to it. That was because I was trying to tell you what was going on without yapping. And really, one of the ways that I like to test a pickup is put on a bit of gain and then, without touching the volume control itself, see how it's going to clean up given the dynamic changes in my pick attack. Flawless. It's absolutely flawless. I love the way this guitar sounds with gain, but I also love the way this sounds clean. When it comes to the split positions, my favorite is the fourth position on the neck pickup. I think I said that earlier in the video, but one thing that I found and is really useful thing to do, regardless if it's a Suhr, a PRS, or any other guitar that does have split options, you have a kind of clean boost, and in my case, I'm using the blue side of the Protein on. Not a lot of gain, it just really helps the thing stand out on its own. Then when you do switch over to the neck pickup in full humbucking mode, it is just bliss. The nut on this guitar was cut perfectly, no binding in any of the slots, and tuning stability is not an issue, but that's not really a surprise because any good T-style that has a properly cut nut is going to stay in tune pretty well. As you can see here, I love this guitar. I've been raving about it, I've been glowing about it, but there is one thing that I really wish that this came with that was a little bit better than what comes from the factory. And this is a very small thing, but to me, when you're spending this kind of money on an instrument, I can't help but think, really? Come on, we deserve a hard shell case. There's nothing wrong with this gig bag. It's actually pretty nice for what it is, and I know that there are a lot of pros that tour with this thing on a regular basis. So honestly, it's just mentally, I think once you get over $3,000, I feel like it should come with a hard shell case because it's an extremely nice guitar and I feel that it does deserve it. So why, Suhr? I mentioned earlier in the video that it was more than just product that made me really want to support this brand. The most important years of my life were spent in San Diego, California, a full decade, in fact, and I met a lot of awesome people there. I played a million awesome shows and had so much fun, but most importantly, it's where I met my wife and it's where I started my family. My daughter was born in La Jolla, about 90 minutes away from Lake Elsinore, where this guitar is made. When I got married to my wife, the best man at my wedding, he lives in Lake Elsinore now. So it was all these little things adding up, and I thought, you know, I'd rather support the smaller brand. They have a reputation that really is just world class, and John Suhr is the kind of guy that trolls around on the gear page, and I've spoken to him in passing, and he doesn't know that, you know, I'm a YouTuber or anything like that, but just seems like a totally normal gear-obsessed guy like the rest of us, and based on the experience that I've had with this Alt T, I'd absolutely recommend, if there is a model that you do like, checking it out. Because the quality is there and you're not supporting some mega giganto private equity, you're supporting a real guitar player's brand, even if it is a bit expensive. But I don't think there's a better endorsement that I could give you than one that does not require me to say a single word. And that's this. I liked it so much I got another one. We'll be comparing this one, because I do have a direct comparison for this one, to a Fender guitar in the upcoming future. But that's it for today. If you enjoyed today's video, let me know by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing. I know this was a little bit of a plot twist at the end here, but this literally just came in and it wasn't supposed to be here until I think March, but I got quite fortunate. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, everybody.